Welcome back to another episode of Star Charts. In this episode, we focus on the Pyro System. Located here in the middle of the UEE in lawless space is located Pyro, with 2 jump points, one to Min and another to Tyrannus. Let's go ahead and zoom in so we can review the system. Yo ho ho, there's a place I know. The slam's all clean and the winches glow. Yo ho, a ruin I'll go. Mark my jump off to Pyro. If Spider is the face of piracy in the galaxy, Pyro is unquestionably the beating heart. An otherwise desolate, lifeless star system crippled by a prolonged nova phase. Pyro is most notably the home of the shared pirate outpost of Ruin Station. Like Spider, Pyro is a case of pirates filling and expanding upon a void left when the system was abandoned by civilized developers. Unlike Spider, Pyro Station has not settled into an orderly system of black market commerce equivalent to that founded for proper traders on standard worlds. Here, opposing packs constantly struggle to own the station and all of the nearby action. The background of Pyro. Any prospect of development life in the Pyro system vanished several million years ago, when the system's star began to go nova. Astrobiologists who have examined the remains of its theoretical green band planets have found little evidence that higher life forms would have been likely in the first place. Nothing but algae-like fossils have been discovered. The system consists of 6 ruined worlds, circling a bright but ultimately dying star. Were it not for the fact that jump points from 2 inhabitable systems have been discovered linking to Pyro, the system would likely never been settled at all. The system was ostensibly discovered in 2401 by the Roustabout, an Earth-flagged tanker ship moving through the Tyrannus system, and the safe route alternative to Keller's Run. The ship's watch officer noted a gravitic anomaly 30,000 kilometers off the transport's port bow, and left it at that. It was not for another 44 years that the ship's corporate owners, seeking new mining territories, dispatched an explorer to the region and formally charted Pyro and its environs. The survey simply noted the overall disarray of the planetary system, the difficulty of finding transportable resources, and the unlikelihood of terraforming anything there successfully. In addition to its development as a center of organized piracy, Pyro is also a household name in the UEE today because it served as the backdrop for one of Original Systems' Arena Commander's first levels. The icy blue nova and the frozen hellscape of planets slowly moving towards their destination seemed an ideal location for Arena Commander's designers to show off how interesting 3D space combat can be. Pyro 1 is a charred black rock which is slowly discorporating into Pyro proper. There is little of interest here. The space around Pyro 1 is difficult to navigate with anything but the highest quality shields, and no significant mineral deposits have been located on the planet's surface to make ever landing here worthwhile. Pyro 2. It's a coreless planet that will in time also fall into the star. During the system's initial discovery, Pyro 2 was a major focus. The planet held seemingly insignificant deposits of cadmium, titanium, and gravity-forged gemstones. A minor metal rush saw human trade ships quickly deplete these deposits. Within 5 years, for all practical purposes, the world has become an empty husk. Pyro 3. The third planet in the system is the only one believed to have once existed in the green band, pre-nova. This is where tiny algae-like fossils have been discovered. For this reason, it was the initial focus of non-profit research efforts during Pyro's initial exploration. Making life more difficult for researchers, the nova process has rendered Pyro 3 a largely magma world, with little left to discover. The scientific community quickly grew tired of Pyro 3 and the system in general. Pyro 3 is technically listed as a potential terraforming candidate by the UEE, although taming a magma world would be extremely difficult and no interest in this project has ever developed. Pyro 4 and 5. The combination of Pyro 4, a rocky Mercury-like protoplanet, and Pyro 5, a massive yellow and green gas giant, is one of the more striking stellar landscapes yet discovered in known space. Arguably a single entity now, Pyro 4 and 5 are the result of a massive meteor strike which altered the orbit of the former into the latter. Pyro 5 now appears to be subsuming Pyro 4 in slow motion, a visual difficult to top anywhere else in the galaxy. Pyro 4 is considered a low-quality refueling point because of the poor hydrogen mix present in the upper atmosphere. Pyro 6 and Ruin Station. The outermost planet in the Pyro system, this subdwarf, would be unremarkable if it were not the home of Ruin Station, populated by Pyro's only permanent inhabitants. Though the station's lineage was originally unclear, and it is today often referred to as being secretive and conspiratorial, it is now known that it began life as a Gold Horizon terraforming base that was abandoned when it became clear that there was no reasonable terraformation to be had in Pyro or at nearby star systems. Once the original settlers abandoned the prefab station, Pyro quickly fell into use as a meeting place for black market deal-making. From there, it was only a matter of time until it followed the same path as Spider, with active pirate construction and the development of a unique subculture. However, where Spider's culture centers around honor among thieves, Pyro is based more around the men with the most guns winning. Make no mistake, Ruin Station is the home of unrepentant pirates and no one else. It is not suitable for tourism, regular trade, or even experienced bounty hunters seeking the thrill of combat. The pirates that do crew the station are the best of the best, constantly ready to stab each other in the back for a bigger piece of the action. Xenothreat is the current pack in control of the station, although this can change at a moment's notice. Gun combat on Ruin Station is so common that shop owners have actually installed a series of armored doors. When infighting erupts, local shops and facilities automatically seal themselves off. A highlight of Pyro's dimly lit halls is Corner 4, a sequence of former research labs converted into drug factories and no questions asked medical treatment facilities. Neutrality. The station's requisite dive bar is the only arguably safe place on the station. Armored toughs, called the Cousins, keep the peace here, at least in so much as they are needed to protect the bar's staff and facilities. From another source. Pyro. It's lawless, 6 planets. Pyro 4 has a 710 standard Earth day rotation. Its import is oxygen and food. Its export is none. Crime status, high. Black market, narcotics and atomics. UEE strategic value, purple. Pyro is a lawless frontier system with a bright central star undergoing a prolonged nova phase. Pyro's sun went nova long before mankind reached for the stars, and little is known of the original makeup of the system. 6 burned-out planets remain, none of which are capable of supporting life. Every planet in the system is at some level of decay, from Pyro 1's slow infusion into the star to Pyro 4 being knocked out of orbit in a meteor strike and slowly being subsumed by Pyro 5's gas giant. There is little inherently interesting in Pyro's system. The planets were quickly mined out of any remaining precious metals. Shortly after the system's discovery, and the gas giant's Pyro 5 is a mediocre refueling point at best. The atmosphere contains a poor hydrogen mix. Persons unknown have established a mysterious space station in orbit around Pyro. The least damaged system in the world, Pyro 6, is still an uninhabitable world. So why a pristine orbital station was built there is unknown. The current inhabitants, primarily pirates and other criminals seeking to lay low, are happy to have it. UEE travel warning. Any improperly shielded spacecraft will sustain residual damage from Pyro's star while making transit through the system. And that was the Pyro System. Thank you for coming out and checking out this episode of Star Charts. Be sure to check out our other episodes, and we'll see you in the verse.